All right. So, Kurt, would you kindly summarize last session for Ano and Dustin?
Sure. I may not remember every bit of downtime from the other two, but started out with Ivar went into town to visit with an alchemist so he could pick up some more stuff for his equipment in case he needs it. He then came back to the Handsome Manor and disappeared into his room and was gone for a couple of days, not really coming out of his room at all. And slowly, hordes of cats began to gather around the Handsome Manor, causing little fights as the bullet would come out and eat them and then disappear again. The cats would all have to like keep up at top speed when they realized it was coming. Petrie found a zombie mask that apparently Colmar had left behind, and there were various experiments being done by Petrie and Tacitus on that mask. It seemed mostly to inflict damage. That seems to be what always happens to Petrie whenever he finds something, is it damages him. So he was incredibly inflicting damage on himself. Tacitus also took a little bit of damage.
Whoa.
Oh.
Kurt, you just disappeared, like face and voice.
Man, I didn't remember that you guys. You didn't cancel last week, right? So
No,
I
we didn't
remember
cancel.
I wasn't able to make it.
Yeah,
I was
it
traveling.
it was Brendan, Kurt, and Tony.
Very nice.
So while Kurt's dealing with his technical difficulties, I'll continue. So basically, Petrie was trying to find. He's rummaging through Colmar's things because he wanted to find something that could either be useful for killing lycanthropes or in some way impress Colmar for some reason.
In true Petrie fashion.
Yeah. And so I used the story dice, and he found a mask that looked like it was made from a person's corpse. So think of an amalgamation of the mask from The Mask, the Jim Carrey movie,
Yep.
and the face on the Necronomicon from Army of Darkness.
Yep.
So kind of a mix between those two things. And when Petrie or anybody would touch the mask, thorns would spring up and draw blood, and then the mask would look like it's sucking the blood up as it would run down the face towards the mouth.
Yeah, like the Necronomicon.
Yeah. So that was interesting, and then he and Tacitus were kind of examining it, and then found some interesting things that it seems to be both protected from divination, so that it can't accurately be identified, but it's also magically been bound by Colmar, so that the magic within is not able to come out.
Gotcha.
And so there's that. And then there were just so many cats everywhere. And Ivar appeared to be completely out of it. And whenever he did appear, the rare occasions that he did appear, the cats would bound onto him and start licking him vigorously. Ivar's little form, he would kind of stumble around as the cats would jump on him.
So Ivar was a pussy magnet.
Quite literally.
Really, not much changed in that regard.
So there was that with the mask and with the cats, and then
you may have gone over this and I missed it, but in character, you may not want to use the banister for a while.
Yes.
I marked it.
All right.
I don't think any more needs to be said about that.
Said about what?
Hey, Tony.
I want to know.
Kurt, would you like to describe in detail what Ivar was doing with the banister?
I needed a quick way down the stairs, and obviously, as you do, I was stealthing around the house naked. And the fastest way was to slide down the banister.
There was a very loud squeaking the whole time.
Well, the key thing to remember is anything that you have done in the house, Charles done 10 times over while we've been gone. So.
Oh yeah, and so Charles has been really pissed off because he's been trying to clean up after these cats that are just shitting and pissing everywhere. And then
he spent a lot of time trying to keep the cats out, and I spent a lot of time trying to let them in so they don't get eaten by the bullet.
Yes.
Also, we took the decanter of endless water because we're going into a desert, leaving Charles without any source of water.
Well, I just want to do. Doesn't Charles have another source of water?
I'm sure he could steal from a well on some nearby property.
And then Tony, do you want to describe what Tacitus was doing in his downtime?
I took a piece of the mantle and basically infused it with my armor to have like a emergency use secondary concentration. Emergency use is definitely not all the time. Tried to find some new spells. I had a little bit of success with that. And then dealt with the fucking cats.
And the mask. You dealt with the mask, too.
Oh, there was the mask. The mask. Yeah. Yeah, the mask was interesting. I have the mask. I will keep it on me, in fact.
Yeah,
Just
you got
because
that.
it seems interesting.
That quick release cloth on your belt.
Yeah.
To bring it out.
To be able to throw it at somebody.
And Elmore looked a little sad or like he had seen a ghost. I'm not really sure that was the same moment or not.
Yeah, so I don't know. I did kind of hint that at Elmorn's mental state because I figured that you had probably looked like you had seen a ghost and that you were kind of conflicted and didn't immediately want to talk about it because it looked like you were processing something pretty big.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I need to connect. Oh, hold on.
So I imagine the handsome man smells a lot like cat piss at this moment. Because there have been cats in here for days and no litter for them to go in.
Has Martha been doing anything during this time?
So I didn't assume anything from Martha necessarily. I know that you did email me about that, and I meant to get back to you. you can kind of choose Charles's response since he's kind of your character in your creation. So I'm fine with you kind of deciding how he wants to respond to that. But I had just said that you probably were going out to supplies from McCormick's Folly, which many of you did. Pretty much any mundane equipment that you might need, you can get easily from the quartermaster of McCormick's Folly, especially since you guys are running the place now. And then there's a arcane researcher who can help with kind of any kind of spells that you're looking for access to or scrolls. And then there's also the what is it called? Well, there's a alchemist also that was helping Ivar. And then also, and so as Tony mentioned, he took a piece off the mantle from the fireplace. So he took one of the dragon shards and used that to infuse it into his armor, working with Baba.
Okay. Martha probably wouldn't be terribly pleased by that, but he'd probably think it's all right because he likes Tacitus. If Tacitus were a newbie, he would probably be pretty upset. But
Like Tacitus or like Tacitus?
just like Tacitus.
Okay.
Charles responds to Martha prior to most of this, I would imagine. Like, oh, sir, this is wonderful of you to ask. I've always wanted to visit my family up in the mountains, far to the north, you know. It's been some time, and, you know, when I was with Bruce Campbell, I've been traveling for so long, and I haven't really sat down in my own home or my family's home. So if it would be okay with you when you return after your adventures are over, perhaps you can watch for the house, or I can arrange to have, you know, someone take care of the place for a little bit. I won't be gone for long, certainly, but I do miss my family. Of course, Charles. It's the least you've earned. I will be most pleased to allow this. Your long years of servitude have not been unnoticed. And then Martha just kind of nods. So, context, Martha was taking a stroll around inspecting Charles's upkeep of the manor upon coming back to make sure that things are being kept to his standards. And Martha was feeling like he owed Charles more, so he asked him if there was anything he could do to help him out. And that was Charles's response. Upon coming in, and he sees, and Charles has been upset with the cats, and Martha was kind of let it slide for a little bit, but Martha was also not pleased because they're shitting all over his house. How long has this been going on, like days-wise?
I'd say probably about a week or so.
So Martha was going to start killing cats. So every cat he sees that defecates, he unleashes a chaos bolt at it, or a firebolt.
So we have some singed cats, some melted cats, some frozen cats, some electrocuted cats, some poisoned cats.
You realize every time you kill a cat, the first thing it does is release its bowels, right?
At least it only does it once instead of multiple times.
We're not feeding the cats here.
I would like to point out that the Handsome Mansion has been freest of rodents than it's ever been.
He doesn't kill all the cats. He leaves one alive to tell the others.
It was my understanding that there were a lot of cats.
We're not
Yes.
talking like a dozen.
Hundreds.
So I imagine that people hear like kind of noise upstairs, like they're boom, 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 and it could be assumed that if you hear that, you're like, oh, Martha's doing it again.
I do remember one more thing that Tacitus did, and it was basically have a slight moment of crisis as he was wondering how in the fuck were these people the ones that like saved all those people on the train, were given this this McCormick's Folly company basically to run, like what? Basically just
Tacitus got caught up on what you guys had done prior to him joining you.
it's like, how did those people do this?
By the way, welcome, Brendan.
Hey, sorry for the drop in.
No worries, we got the full crew tonight. That's a rare occurrence.
And at some point, somebody borrowed a gimp mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I Petrie like runs around looking for Tacitus, and he notices all the dead cats, and he's like, can we use it? Can we use it, please?
Use what?
The mask.
No.
Come on.
No.
They're all dead though.
No.
Sometimes dead is better.
I'll say this. There will be a time when it gets used, and it's going to be very far from this place
No.
where
Walks away poking.
where friends lay their heads. We don't want this to get any, whatever it is, whatever it wants. We don't want it to be here. Yeah?
No.
Trust me, it'll get used.
Could just take a dead cat with you when we leave, and then in the middle of the safe desert.
If only you guys had a bag of holding. You could just stuff it full of dead cats. Maybe even just bring the bullet with you in the bag of holding.
Oh, God.
It is undead after all. It doesn't need to breathe.
All right. So with that, now that Ano and Dustin have been kind of brought up to speed, I'd like to hear from you guys what you guys have been doing during this week of downtime, other than Martha having a conversation with Charles and killing cats.
Well, Martha, besides killing cats and having a week of downtime, it's been nice to be home. Martha was no secret a man who enjoys comfort and the comfort of home, and he has been relaxing as much as he can, and that's partially why he's been killing cats, because they've been interrupting his relaxation time. And he has returned to Ironside to visit McCormick's Folly and check in and see how things are going. I don't have any information on that, but I'm sure we could role play something. This week of downtime, though, has left him a little anxious. And while it's nice to be home, he feels like his welcome has been overstayed, and he's itching to get back out on the road. Always a wanderer, and always been a wanderer at heart. never comfortable for too long before it's he feels like it's time to go.
Oh, and I was waiting to hear if there was any word on your chocolate milk producing cows.
On the what?
More for Elmore and his chocolate milk producing
Yeah,
cows.
the chocolate milk cows. Yeah, that didn't. I don't know if it happened or not. Elmore has been. You guys have noticed him like been in and out of the Handsome Mansion, more out than in. And, but while he was at the Handsome Mansion, he was able to assemble some like Star Wars-ish Sand People garb for us to wear for our trip back to the desert. He didn't want to have to make a makeshift barrier again. So that was one thing he did.
That shelter was dope, though.
The other thing was Elmore's he's not really wanting to talk about it right now. So you guys don't really know what's going on with him. But all you know is what Mike had said earlier, is that he looks like he's contemplating something.
So, especially with the entire group being here now, one thing that I would like to pose to the group, because it really has been a situation where much of what your characters have experienced has been kind of out of your control. You've been kind of on the rails of a roller coaster almost, looking for this angel face creature and fighting the cultists and having all these things thrown in your way with the train and everything. This is really one of the few opportunities that you've had to actually kind of rest, reflect on what's been going on, and have a bit of say in determining what you want to do next. And so it is really something on the table. You guys have been searching for this angel face creature, and you've been searching for Mordain as a result of it. But after all of that you guys have experienced, is that something that your characters still want to do? Or after this week of downtime, is it something that is worth considering, maybe changing course in some way?
I guess, well, in Petrie's downtime, he's been asking for like wisdom, I guess, on the situation around Mordain from Father Stenson, which isn't a very good source of wisdom.
Oh, that was awesome. So Petrie last week had a whole conversation with Father or Flamekeeper Stenson,
who hates us.
Well, especially Petrie. And he's definitely not fond of Colmar. But Petrie just kind of talked at him. Father Stenson was just stone-faced, didn't say anything. Petrie's yelling, using his thaumaturgy to raise his voice at times even. And then after he's done talking, he just walks away.
In true Father Stenson fashion.
So yeah, other than harassing everybody about words of wisdom for Mordain, Petrie's pretty happy with adventuring. He doesn't mind having to he doesn't mind hearing about the lichens which are going to show up. So either, yeah, he's cool wherever. He thinks Mordain might be more so a potential ally than he might be a possible enemy. So even if we are to avoid Mordain, Petrie still thinks that there might be a possibility that Mordain might come and talk to us if he wants to meet us. But yeah.
Martha also he feels that he doesn't feel any differently about continuing the quest. He still feels that Mordain, while he's not somebody that he would willingly talk to, like on normal circumstances, is still the best candidate to provide the information that's the burning desire of Marthos to figure about the angel-faced creature. Having the week off to kind of sit back and think about in the comfort of his own manner and the team in the team's manner has only kind of solidified his position that material goods are temporary, and if he wishes for true lasting peace, that the bottom of this issue needs to be resolved, and you can't just sit idly by.
Well, with Elmorn's week off, he's had a revelation. Because Elmorn's never off; he was always on. He's not sure if the whole reason he joined McCormick's Folly in the first place was for information and for answers, and now he is finding that there may be a good lead that doesn't lead to Mordain at the moment. So he would be questioning whether or not he should join you all back that way.
Would he share that lead, or what's the lead? Maybe I missed it.
You didn't miss it.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like you have to be like getting ready to go, and then Elmore would be like, "I'm not going with you. I'm not going with you. Take the sand garbs.
Get in the chopper. I'll stay."
Okay.
I'll just work here, so I'll go wherever you guys tell me to go. Although I do want to talk about the lack of health insurance.
Kurt, Ivor just received some information.
Is it a benefits form?
I've given him the W-2 for McCormick's Folly.
Not EOB.
And did you guys know that Mordain's Hall is on the map? And I'll pull up like a map that I found.
God damn it. I can't believe they would put that on the map. Whatever.
I mean, it's totally there.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting crossroads. It sounds like, because it with Elmorn.
I guess Petrie would then, if there's some sort of like hesitance from Elmorn, I think Petrie would ask like, so what question do you want answered?
Elmorn would basically say that I need to go to the Mournland. Someone there. See.
Now, I don't want to mention the potential suicide that would cause, but I'm pretty sure if we were to meet Mordain, and I'm pretty sure he would have a fairly good understanding of the Mournlands. Maybe enough even to teleport us there to whoever you need to meet, or giving us some sort of protection in order to be there. The only thing is that I feel like Mordain, he isn't someone who can be like just he won't just give us what we want. There has to be some sort of trade. And this is why I've been searching through Colmer's stuff. Because there's got to be some sort of good necromancy shit in there. Maybe some sort of rare mold or something. I don't know. Actually, I got a bit of a tickly throat.
Oh, that's right. Yes, after you got punctured with the thorns.
Punctured with the thorns? I mean, that sounds like a terrible high school band's name.
It's definitely a garage band.
Well, Elmore would say I can't travel on maybes when I have a good solid lead.
Care to share details about this lead then?
Tacitus, you remember my daughter, Grace?
Sure.
Have you heard of the Angel of the Mists?
Have I heard of this Angel of the Mists?
At the Tower of the 12, you heard some rumors. Nothing that would give you any kind of understanding other than it's somewhat related to the Mornland and that you've heard the name.
By name only.
While you were fiddling around with cats, wiping your butt on the banister, I was investigating. I came upon a lead about this Angel of the Mists. She apparently leads those helplessly trapped in the Mournlands out safely. One such man that was let out was an artist. I was able to see his sketch of the angel, and it was unmistakably my daughter. I have to go. God damn it!
Well, I mean, even if we go back to the desert, and as I understand it, we were really close to Membrane, the test leader, or whatever his name is. We could probably use, like, the same way we got here and then going back there, we could probably get back here in a day or so. So it really wouldn't even delay all that much if he came back with us to the desert.
Are we going to be potentially threatened by that thing which ate brains?
Until it's dead, yes.
I don't think I caught all of what Ivor said.
I was just saying, even if we go back to the desert, we can be back here instantaneously. We can just transport back to the manor. So if we were right next to wherever Mordain is, which is what I thought we were, we just have to go there, meet with Mordain. If it doesn't work out, we can always be back in a day. Either way.
That's the theory, but Mordain's unpredictable.
Right, but we could just leave at any time. But if he's being difficult, be like, all right, peace out. And then back here, and then we go find the artist.
That's true.
And if that is your wish, Ivar, then I wish you good travels. But my wish is to go to the Mournlands and see my daughter.
I still go where I'm told. I'm just saying, I don't know there'd be much of a delay.
Elmornek, your intentions are good and true, and I completely understand your desire. Tell me, how long has it been since you were in the Moorlands?
How long has it been, DM?
You tell us.
I don't know how long ago the event happened.
Oh, that's fair. The end of the last war was somewhere around 5 years ago. So the event is about 5 years.
I haven't been there since the end of the war.
Since then, are you familiar with the mists.
I've heard the stories. They do not scare me. Not anymore. Not when my daughter could be out there.
I'm with you.
Well, if the mists of with what by whom your skin will slough off of, and your toenails will bend, and other unspeakable horrors for which your body will deform to, do not scare you, then you have all of my blessing.
I'd like to point out that Dustin is the only one that's played in a game with me where I've taken them through the Mormons.
However, that would be character knowledge, but Martha has heard of these things because of his extensive travels around the continent. And he has heard stories from people who have like lived near the mists and all that. So this is not particular, like, this isn't character. This isn't player knowledge making its way into character.
Right. Although I would say, traveling with you guys, that's probably going to happen anyway.
Most of you have already survived being deformed.
It's true. Martha, I put a hand on your shoulder, Martha.
And I put it on your bicep.
I awkwardly look at your hand, and I look back at you. I understand your concern, my friend, but I cannot idly sit by on this knowledge without investigating it.
That's fair.
Besides, I have shell, egg. It's called shell in my game. That's why I mixed that up. And I always call him egg in the game that I'm running. I always
Wait, so you have your own egg in the game you're running?
Yeah, I told you. That's why I wanted the picture.
Oh, that's right. That's awesome.
Besides, I have egg. He'll watch over me.
You won't be alone. I'll be going with you.
Knew I could count on you, friend.
I lost my own family in that place. If there were any chance of getting them back, I would take it in an instant.
The rest of you need concern yourselves. This is
splitting the party at its finest.
Oh man.
This is a matter of seal.
Hmm. Is the description of the woman of the mist, are they described her as like an angel faced creature?
I just gave you a weird look.
Could she
Wow.
be,
Run that by me again?
is your
She's literally called the Angel of the Mists.
yeah, well, has she got an angel face?
Oh my god.
Petrie? Please don't talk about my daughter anymore.
Now, we do know someone who's an expert on angel-faced creatures. Or, I mean, not creatures. Definitely not creatures, sorry. Petrie's like cowering.
So let me just ask: you came by this knowledge about the artist because you saw it in a dream, or how exactly did you find out this artist exists?
I have my ways.
Yeah, I'm just trying to suss this out because I'll go wherever you tell me to go, but the other two don't seem super convinced. So I'm thinking if you told them It might help sway them.
I've heard many stories, and I've seen enough. I have rode caravans near the mist. I remember the evening when I first saw the mist. The sun was going down, and just on the other side of the hill, it looked a little bit blurry. For that was where the mist was. And the forests between where I was and the mists were dead. As if the wood has been rotted inside out. There was nothing that lived in that area. Everything was in a perpetual state of rot. And that is what I understand the mist to be. A perpetual state of rottenness. Now, it's not easy to get through. And I actually have only heard dim stories of people who have been able to. And I would not risk to try it unless there was a dire need to do so. For all the dangers we've been through, I don't know if we could stand through it. Not many can.
That is why I will not ask you to come.
Damn.
Now,
You go to your death.
I go to my daughter. If it leads to death, so be it.
You take not just you, but Tacitus with you.
He made his choice. I did not force his hand.
now, Elmon, please, please, let's use our rational minds for one moment, please. We know there's an expert on angel-faced daughters, and we know where he definitely is. Now,
Do we?
somewhere
Still seemed like we had to search for that guy too.
probably near the Oasis. You know, it's a fairly educated guess. Now,
Now, if we look at that map,
if we look at the map, it's on the opposite side or whatever. But if that thing which eats brains is as smart as it says it is, it'll definitely have led us in the right direction. And I know where a big brain is, so if he's lying, I'm gonna kill the big brain, so he'll never eat it.
So I'm gonna say, Elmorn, you hear a voice from behind you, and everybody sees that Baba has just appeared from behind you, and he says, "If you seek your daughter, then might you need some way of finding her? If she is in the mists, then mists are large place from what I hear. How would you know where to find her?"
The artist told me where he emerged from. I'll start from there.
But mists are big place. Could be many directions. An artist may have been lost after emerging. Might Baba suggest assistance?
What?
Clearly, I have expertise in being a spirit. If your daughter is some kind of spirit, or still has some life, which then is a creature with spirit, Baba may have magic that can assist, but Baba would need some belonging that was dear to her. Some item of importance that she had for significant time.
And what would you do with this?
It would be used to attune another dragon shard. And he pops one out from the mantelpiece, leaving another crater not far from the other one.
That was pretty handy.
Marthal's self-portrait looks displeased. There's a self-portrait of Marthal above the mantelpiece.
And the no, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying as is customary for the Hampton Mansion.
And the attunement process, what would this do to the item?
Unfortunately, item would not survive.
Elmorn looks disappointed.
But would increase chances that you find daughter. Baba cannot guarantee complete accuracy, especially given the strange nature of these mists, but is better than going blind.
Elmorn reaches into his pack. He pulls out a small doll. And he just looks at it for a while. And he's like, I had hoped to give it back to her. One day.
So Baba examines the doll, and he seems to be looking around it, not quite focusing directly on it. Although, given that he is a creature of ectoplasm and mists, it's kind of hard to know where his eyes exactly are focusing. But he says, doll would do well. Is covered with aura. It seems to resonate with spiritual energy. This would work. But Baba would need assistance. Tacitus, would you offer your hand?
Sure, absolutely.
For sure. Excellent. So that's something, but that doesn't necessarily help with the debate happening at hand in terms of whether the party splits.
So how do I hand this to Baba? I just want to know, because I reluctantly give it over, but what does it look like when he takes it?
It actually just kind of floats around him, like kind of hovering. Because Baba doesn't need to actually seem like he's physically touching something to manipulate it. Being a ghostly, poltergeisty, sphinx type thing. So then Baba goes, my apologies. I interrupted conversation. Please continue.
Martha leaves.
Oh, excuse me. One more. Tacitus, I will be in workshop waiting. When you are ready, come find me.
Will do.
Martha walks out the door and says, I'll be back. I need to think.
Yeah, I need to go pee. I'm going to run off. if there's roof access, I've never peed off the top of a mansion, so it's a good.
There is roof access, actually.
Perfect.
Even if there wasn't, I'm sure with the gadgets you have, you would find a way to make it up there. Just like Data from the Goonies.
The teeth.
Yes.
All right, I guess I'm going to Baba now.
All right. Petrie and Elmorn, what are you guys doing? As
Standing in awkward silence.
Yeah, I'm curious as to see what's going to happen. But Petrie is just going to head back into maybe like a library and going to go look through Colma's stuff some more.
okay.
So what room are we in? Like the foyer, probably?
Probably the big mantle room where there's the fireplace and the bearskin rugs and everything.
Okay. Then I just sit in a chair and start playing my lute. All this talk of my dead daughter made me nostalgic.
And I'm sure handing over the doll wasn't easy either.
No.
Stepping over the bodies of several dead cats.
Stepping on the bodies of several dead cats. And Egg is like sitting on a nearby table or something, like just kind of watching me play.
Tacitus, do you have access to the locate person or locate object spell?
It is not in my spell book.
Okay.
Let me look what let me see what I do have that might help. So the couple of things that I have, I have Mind Spike, which like it's technically it does damage, but then while I concentrate, I can always know where that person is.
Okay. Yeah, actually, that could be of use.
I also have Arcane Eye.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. Either one of those, I would imagine. Maybe.
Yeah, actually, both of those would be very effective. It's going to be interesting what happens. So Baba is kind of directing you, Tacitus, in terms of the concentration, and then as you, he's kind of directing you in terms of how to pour the arcane energy of the spells into the doll, and then through the use of his spiritual energy, he's kind of manipulating those energies.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding the dragon shard to the doll. Nice. So
I would also
go
do absolutely everything in my power to also try and conserve the doll so that it does not destroy. I'll use action points and everything.
Okay, give me an Arcana check, spellcaster check, and how many action points do you want to devote to this?
I'll use. Fuck it. I'll use 3 of my 4.
Wow.
Okay.
Alrighty. So let's see here. Arcana.
That's the bro.
Come on, dice. Don't fuck me. Arcana. 16 on Arcana. Spellcaster check. So just my intelligence then, I guess. No,
Yeah.
no proficiency.
Right.
5.
Okay. So as you are working the magic of your spells and pouring it in with Baba's direction, at one point Baba actually kind of comes behind you and places his ghostly hands into yours, which creates a really strange sensation, like ice water in your veins.
But otherwise,
where-
it's exactly that scene from Ghost.
Exactly. Yes. And
Does Tacitus get aroused by this?
Let's see here.
I'm gonna let Tacitus maintain his modesty. He can tell or not.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Ghost is very arousing. I don't know what you're talking about.
It would be it'd be the whole process.
Right.
Right.
Let me get above 85% for sure. So like if I roll 85 or higher. 76.
Ooh.
Almost.
So you're just
a semi.
Yeah.
just a half chub.
Half chub. Yeah.
All right. So now
ended too soon.
as the spell energy is coursing through the doll, the body of the doll disintegrates. The head of the doll kind of becomes somewhat, it looks almost more than real or super real in some ways, and the dragon shard becomes embedded in the forehead of the doll. And now the doll's head kind of, once the process is complete, it floats in front of Tacitus. And Tacitus has the ability to direct it. Now, it doesn't require concentration to use the doll, but it does require a consistent amount of spell energy. And so, Tacitus, you need to always have a second level spell slot devoted to the use of this spell.
Okay. All right, so just a second level every day.
Yeah. So you'll get that second level spell slot back once you stop using the doll.
Can I decide to stop for a day and then start it back up again, or does it have to be consistent?
No, you can do that. This is because you used the action points. It's reduced the spell slot cost, and it also has made it a permanent magic item. And so you can actually utilize it as a. You can see through it at times, almost like an arcane eye, but it doesn't have the full functionality of one. And you don't know, you have this sense because your Arcana check gives you a bit of knowledge about how the spell works. You can see through it, its senses, and but the senses are attuned to Elmorn's daughter. And so the senses are going to somewhat be reflective of that, but you're not exactly sure how. You know, when you try to see through it now, you don't see anything.
Okay.
But you know you have that capacity. And then as it requires only a bonus action to move the doll, but it also, you can feel it resonating and seems to be drawn in a particular direction. And the doll, no matter what way that you move it, it's always, the face of the doll is always in the same direction.
Okay.
Kind of like a compass.
Got it. Can I grab it?
Yes.
All right. So I can grab it and then and it just floats.
Yeah. When you grab it, it feels kind of warm to the touch and almost kind of pulsing like a heartbeat.
All right. Do I think that perhaps somebody else could throw in a spell slot if necessary?
To what purpose?
To take the load off of me, basically. Just in case, but I intend to do it as much as I can. So.
No, because of the way that the magic that is working, it actually kind of creates a special connection between you, the doll, and Ellen's daughter.
Okay.
If she's still around, or if she is still around in whatever fashion she may be currently existing.
Don't get too fresh with my daughter or her doll.
Never, buddy. Never. I just look. Is there anybody around? Besides Elmore?
Just Baba.
All right.
Good.
So yeah, so that's done. So now what is everybody else doing?
After finding nothing, Petrie runs back down into the foyer and sees a floating head, and he's just shaking his head in disbelief. He's like, "What? You remember what happened last time we played with dolls?" You don't remember the Zeppelin ride or anything, guys?
I was not there. I don't know.
Come on.
I kind of don't remember that. What happened?
That's where you got your scar.
Oh,
that,
right.
that was the Halloween episode.
Halloween episode.
We don't have to worry about this, doll. Just because it floats, I did that. Okay.
We should play dress up. Put a mask on it. Let's see what it does.
No.
Oh.
Look, if you want to know what the mask does, you're just going to have to come with us.
Oh. But there's a cat right there.
Yeah.
And the mask is right there. Come on. Just a little bit.
No.
Oh.
Marthal enters, comes back from outside, and he looks at Elmore and says, "The angel-faced creature is a creature, as we discovered at the Tower of the 12, that was born from a realm of madness and psychoticry, whatever.
We understand. Go ahead.
Psychosis is the word you're looking for.
From what I know of the Moorlands, from what I've heard and such, I understand it to be a place of all of these things. So while our lead may be with Mordain the Flesh Weaver, it is perhaps the ultimate destiny, or not, that the Moorlands would attract the quarry we are seeking, because it would be most like its home realm. So therefore, I think we can come. I think it would be not a bad decision to go, despite me fearing for my beautiful skin in life.
I'm not asking you to come. But if it is your choice, then I will gladly accept your help.
I can appreciate a man who sticks to his values. Or woman. I'm not sexist.
Yes, we know.
I'm in two minds about this. I know that Mordain definitely would have information on angel-faced daughters. but when have we been one to be scared of an adventure or to do things without thinking? And I don't think I'm willing to change. So to suicide or adventure, whatever you want to call it.
I'll say this. One thing I have come to realize is we're the goddamn heroes here, right? So no matter where we go, it's going to be the right place. That's how it goes in every story I've ever read.
Thank you, everyone, and Ivar. It's truly touching how you're all willing to travel with me, and Ivar's just along for the ride.
You guys are right. Suicide is an inevitability when you're an adventurer anyway.
Got to go out in style.
We should just make sure we don't use that. I don't know what trinket it was that let us transport back here, but if we decide we want to go find Mordain, you don't want to clear the memory on that thing so we can't get back to the desert in a blink of an eye.
Agreed.
Does Egg have a rousing little speech too? About how he's going to join me?
It hatches.
When Egg does that, a tear falls from my eye.
I'm just imagining you holding the egg up, like nodding your head. Oh, yeah. Nobody else hears a thing. Just you nodding to an egg.
Actually, we have a special bond now. We actually can understand one another because we refused. We became Eggmorn, and now we're Egg and Elmorn. But
so
you
say.
Our mind bond.
So you say.
By the way, Tony, I don't think you've ever seen Egg, have you?
Yeah. For a moment, like right before we were teleported out of the tower.
No, I mean like a picture of Egg.
Oh, no? Like actually with my eyes seen it? No, I have not.
Yeah, sorry, he's not just a little like actual chicken egg. He's got a face. You'll see.
Where is it? Yes, here it is. All right, I'm gonna forward it to you, Tony.
Okay.
I don't even remember how I got him.
Oh, when you guys had those stones, you remember the stones that when Colmar tried to identify them, they exploded, and then that's when you guys got the dream. One of them hatched into Egg.
Nice.
Alrighty then. That's interesting. Do we have stats for this egg?
No, because if you give it stats, people will kill it.
Mike would kill it. Yeah.
Kurt, have you seen Egg?
He's already tried to kill it before.
Now with that sweet plot armor.
Petrie's like, I just looked up the definition of suicide. I am out.
No, I just noticed he left.
Mike, I just have to let you know, Elmorn can die. That's okay, but Egg cannot die. Okay? Like, if Elmorn's going to die, I won't be as upset as if Egg was going to die. Like Elmore, he lived a full life. He had his daughter. He had a tragedy. He died doing what he wanted to do. But Egg just started. Egg has so many adventures he needs to go on.
Oh, believe me, he will be in every adventure I create from here on out.
That's a great picture. I love it.
Kurt, I forgot, I didn't hear you. Have you seen a picture of Egg?
I saw it sort of blurry once upon a time. You put it up, but I couldn't quite make out the details on it.
All right, let me send that one to you as well.
Wait, did I show you that I made a physical egg?
No.
Yeah, I made out of clay. I don't have them. I don't have them because I gave them to the person that has an egg in my campaign.
That's awesome.
Wow, you can't say that and then not deliver up.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I didn't. I'll send her a text and see if she'll send me a picture.
This is the quintessential.
Sounds like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is the quintessential pics or it didn't happen.
It sounds like Brennan, you're underwater.
Yeah, it's my. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Brendan / Aquaman.
So it's decided then. Wait, where's Petrie? Petrie, where's Ivor?
All right, so how do you guys decide to go about getting to the Mournland?
I'm gonna start hoofing it.
Well, the quick way is to get to the lightning rail.
Is the Elatrix operational?
It is.
How far are we from the Mournland?
Well, I'm sure it's on the map because the map apparently gives away every fucking thing.
The Mournland is there. We got the glowing chasm, the glass plateau, the crimson water. Not sure what that is. Field of ruins. That sounds fun. Let's go there.
Can we put like some like heavy shocks and 4-wheel drive tires on the Elatrix and just bash there?
So it looks like 500 miles. All right, it looks like about almost 1,000 miles.
And where exactly was the artist when he stumbled out of the mist? Because Sire used to be pretty big, so he might not be at the closest spot.
Is there any before we continue to talk, is there any way that while you guys are traveling to get there, some of us go to Mordain and then appear where you guys are? Is that a possibility?
Not without.
You really want to go see Mordain all by your lonesome?
He said some of us, not by himself.
Oh.
But
who would volunteer to accompany Petrie to see Mordain?
I will go wherever I am told. However, unless Mordain is willing to teleport us, and then there's a chance of error. It's not clear that we're going to be able to just appear next to them.
I think Petrie or Brendan is frozen.
I don't think visiting Mordain.
He's turned into a statue.
I don't think visiting Mordain alone or not in full strength would be a wise idea. I'd rather have the full strength of all of us rather than split our strength and be destroyed one by one.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if we could do what Petrie says, it's not a bad idea to have Elmore could start going towards the Mornlands, and then we catch up with Elmore. And the problem is, I don't think we could just appear next to Elmore in a couple of days.
I don't believe so.
Australian garbage today. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
I think your internet streams are backwards. That's the problem. It's probably the southern hemisphere that's doing it.
Yep, it's going down those tubes, those series of tubes backwards.
Yeah, just like my toilet spins the wrong way to you guys.
Elmorn, you know that the artist appeared somewhere between the Arthon Keep and Vatharond.
So, considerably more than 1,000 miles.
So you'll need to go either around the Mornland or go through the Mornland.
The impatient, brash part of Elmore wants to go through the Mornland. If everyone else is traveling with him, if he was going by himself, or maybe just Tacitus, he would probably just be like, "We're going through." But since he doesn't want to endanger everyone, he'd be like, "We're going around." Unfortunately.
Wait, I thought we were going into the Moorland. I'm confused.
I think it might be safe to go down to Metrol. At least kind of get to the edge there and
Oh, what the fuck?
see what our
Well, we could go to
see
the
what our
edge.
guide here does.
Yeah, we could go to the edge, but I wouldn't want to go through it to try and attempt to get to where the guy came out of.
Well, I mean,
We can go to the edge and see what we find there.
we can get to Vatheron. We just have to go around everything to get down, to get to the lightning rail that take us south to Vatheron.
Yeah, I mean, the mists. I myself don't know much about them, so like on the water, how far out does it go? You know, we get the lake there, and then the river that goes up towards that big starfish area.
Just so that everybody is aware, one thing that is pretty common knowledge about the mists is that people very frequently get lost in them. It's incredibly difficult to navigate, and most people that go into the mists rarely ever come out. And if they do, they are either absolutely mutilated or insane or both. But the weird thing about the mists is that they go up almost up to the edge of any sort of river or lake or body of water and then stop very suddenly, almost like a wall of mist that kind of borders, and there's only like maybe a few feet of shore. And the mists are very well contained. And if you go see them, it's actually a very strange thing to see because they kind of move and bubble and roll, but they don't usually encroach forward.
Let me see.
Although there have been some instances where people have claimed that at times the mists seem to suddenly go out, but then they'll slowly retract.
I mean, for purposes of getting there, I think it's probably going to wind up being faster to get around to get to Vatheron than it is to walk through the Mournland, given everything we're going to encounter in the Mournland. There's a lightning rail most of the way between here and Vatheron, with just a couple of regular march on foot paths we're going to have to take, and maybe we could get an airstrip.
Where are we at again?
We're
By Lake Dark there?
yeah.
Yeah, you're somewhere between Iron Town and Lakeside, since we've determined that the
okay.
town is actually Ironside.
Right. Right. Okay. And
But ideally, we get to Flame Keep in Rain, because then there's the lightning rail directly down to Vatheron. Or at least as Ivar sees it, because he doesn't like the notion of just walking through the Mournland without knowing something more about where we're going.
Remind me again where you fought the enormous whatchafucket.
That was essentially on the path Ivar is saying we should go on there. That was on the Volyar.
Oh lordy.
Either way, whether we're walking through the Mournlands or not, we'll wind up traveling in the direction of Volyar.
So, there's no possibility of going to go see Mordain? No? Okay.
let me just put it out there one more time. None of you have to come with me. I appreciate it greatly. But if you would rather go see this Mordain, I will not hold any ill will towards any of you.
Alright.
Mordain has.
Is there some sort of sending stone that we can keep in conversation or keep in contact with? Like, can I get your digits?
Baba, whip up some sending stone. Chop, chop.
First of all, Baba is not just servant. Will not just whip up sending stones. Also, what do you mean by sending stones?
It's like a phone call.
What is this phone?
The gnomes use them sometimes.
I don't know what he's talking about, Bob.
Seriously, I have no idea where that guy's head goes sometimes.
Look, Baba is quite capable with arts of magic. However, Baba has limits. Baba is not, as you can see, in the flesh. And so Baba is more limited than he would be if Baba was alive. That being said, no.
Bubba, is there any possibility that you could like open a portal between here and the doll?
The portal that is in the basement is only there because it is resonant to my spiritual energy between here and where my corpse lies.
I wish the kobolds ate your soul as well. God damn it.
Does party wish Baba to go full poltergeist on Petrie's ass?
I'll smite your ass.
Bring it.
While this would be highly entertaining, I think we have things to do.
Petrie is little suka anyways. Not worth Baba's time.
Whatever.
This might delay us slightly, for I think there might possibly be things, we need to prepare for here.
Okay, so where are like the stopover towns where you guys are going?
Wait, were you guys? So have you solidified that you're not going?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm pretty content on gonna go see Mordain.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just because you're playing Petrie accurately, or if you're just intending to make my job harder. I genuinely can't tell.
I think the answer is yes.
I think yes. Yeah.
It's a bit of both. Is there anybody else who wants to come along with us that I can ask to come? Like, is there can Bubba, can he come on for the ride?
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
Sure. He needs a second to think.
Is
when he came up with this sweet idea for Elmore, he didn't think it was going to split the party.
I almost feel like he intended for it to. I mean, I'm just being accurate to Elmore.
Yeah, no, and I understand. Yeah, that this is exactly what Elmore would do, but yeah, maybe he did intend on it.
And then having heard the reason why, there's no way Tacitus was not gonna not go as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he split us, like, because yeah, I'm not sure on Iva's position. I'm thinking he's just happy to tag along, but there's oh my god, my brain's got fried.
Peter seems to be watching, and he just said that we should send Flamekeeper Stenson with him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the worst buddy cop movie ever.
I keep on thinking of who's that guy who went on our first adventure? The hero of the story. Seamus, the hero. He was the best. We should get him.
Seamus is super retired.
No.
I left him when he was an old dude when you guys dragged him along.
So for Kurt and Tony, can you explain Seamus?
So here's how that went. When at the very beginning of the adventure, the whole hook was that this wounded old veteran warrior stumbled into McCormick's Folly and was a friend of McCormick and told of his town near the Fort Deep Dark being overrun by these creatures, and he was pretty badly wounded, almost mortally wounded. And his wounds seemed to resist attempts to heal. And fucking Petrie rolled a critical success on his attempt to heal Seamus because he was so adamant that this guy needed to come with. And at that point, I was like, "Fuck! I can't deny the success of this." So fine, and then he comes to take them.
I vaguely remember the story from the one shot, and Polonius had to intervene from getting Brendan to take another NPC along.
The orc, yeah. I think just the running back now, just to bring someone along with us is useless.
Right. I would definitely contribute, not just because Peter's watching, but if we're going to the Moorland anyway, we might as well swing by Asher and see if we can pick up Kolmar. He might be done. He might be available. He has time to watch. He has time to play, goddammit.
Is Peter watching?
Yeah, he just messaged me. He's like, "Send Flamekeeper Stenson with Petrie."
Nice. So then we're heading into the mist.
All right, so you guys going the long roundabout way or the straight through?
I'm not real sure.
If you guys go the long way, I might be able to catch up with you.
I think the long way is probably going to wind up being the faster way.
Probably.
Narratively, perhaps.
So do you know where in the mist we're heading to, Elmore?
Not yet. This right here will
We're gonna go to the edge.
direct us there.
Yes, and then we will use the doll head and my melodious voice to call out into the mists and see.
Wait, so when you say go into the edge, you mean the edge by Metrol first?
Yes.
So does your stone have a direction and a distance, or just a direction?
Just mainly a direction, I think. So,
Because if we go to Metro, then it's definitely going to point into the mist. Because
yeah, but it could point way.
aside from Metro.
It could point way to the south. Maybe she moved.
Yeah, but we'd basically be skirting all of Sire if we went anyway. We could just keep periodically pointing in which direction she is.
So basically using the doll head to triangulate based on your perimeter search of the Mournland.
Exactly. And if it turns out the artist came out like somewhere nearby where she was, at around off on Keep, that's where this path would lead us to. And as we circle it, we'll sort of get a sense of that if we just keep close track of it on the map.
Sure. I mean, that works. I happen to be keenly aware always where north is, so it'll
And we
certainly
can
help.
pick up
I'm sure.
Colmar.
What's that?
And we can pick up Colmar.
Yeah.
Sure. He certainly has some interesting trinkets.
And who knows, maybe Petrie will find a teleportation circle and can meet us at one of the cities along the way. It's unlikely. He'll probably just be dead in Drome, but you never know. No offense, Petrie.
It's an unfortunate place to be dead at.
Petrie,
Oh, you have no idea.
Petrie,
Get your
are you sure that you are going to continue on to Mordain without us?
Yeah. Just yeah.
So can anyone use, I actually don't remember what item it was let us transport back to the Handsome Manor. Can anyone use that or only Petrie? I'm just wondering, or not Petrie, I think it was Marthal had it.
Martha, yeah.
So does Petrie have to walk back to Drome? Or can he just bamf back to the desert? Because if you got to walk back to Drome, you might as well accompany us part of the way.
So anybody could use it. It's not attuned to any specific person. Also, Peter's been writing in the chat apparently, so I'm going to post what he's been putting.
Okay.
What chat? Oh,
Yeah,
I guess live stream chat.
we have to look to see where the mist is undulating, and then that's where we need to.
Did I use the Electrics?
It probably hasn't been properly greased, to be honest.
That's
Actually,
great.
if we're going to use the Electrics, let me
Charles, can you see to that the Elatrix is properly taken care of?
Well, sir, I think I could do something. I don't know if I could do it as well as Colmar could, but I am certainly up to the task for trying.
There are a few people who could grease things as well as Colmar can, but
Indeed, sir, indeed.
I trust you, Charles.
So,
Okay, Magneto. Alrighty.
So, I only got another couple minutes in me, because I need to be up early for work. Were there any final things that you guys wanted to do before you guys start heading out?
I honestly would probably want to try and find something to help protect our minds.
Like what?
Something that helps protect from psychic infiltration. Anything that would try and fuck with our minds. Anything that would try and read our minds.
All right, I'm gonna roll a percentile.
Sure.
See, it's an unlikely thing.
For sure.
Because McCormick's Folly, while it does have a good amount of gear, doesn't have very high level type gear. But maybe we'll see.
I could whip up a couple rings of mind building.
No.
That's on the roll, though.
I rolled 75. You needed a 88 or higher.
She'll let me roll.
I haven't gotten a roll today. I need to do something.
No, I only got a 70 anyways.
What did everybody else want to do in preparation? And how are you guys going to head out? Are you going to take the lightning rail, take the Elatrix?
The Elatrix for sure.
I have no idea what the Elatrix is.
It's a car.
yeah,
More or
it's a
less.
car.
Yes, it's a car that Colmar, in particular. So Colmar's initial duty when he was in this area, prior to his escapades in that tour, were to care for the Elatrix, and it is his brainchild and his specialty. But it is essentially an autonomous vehicle, which we can control.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, I feel certain.
Peter just asked, does Brevin have any carts around?
Brevin has left us
That's a
a
good call.
All right. By popular demand, which is actually a good suggestion, I will roll story dice to see what Tacitus is able to find.
And I'm going to use one of my Colmar arrows to go help grease up the Elatrix. Because now, knowing that Colmar worked on it, Ivar is 100% certain that Colmar would want us to take the Elatrix.
All right, so let's see. All right, so let's see. These story dice are definitely, it's interesting, but how do I use them? Okay, I got it. So while you don't have a item that protects against psychic attack, you are able to find something. It's kind of a clockwork item. And what it does is it detects the resonance of potential psionic activity. Not necessarily specific, though, in terms of whether it's mind reading, mind controlled, enchantment, or whatever. And once it does that, it emits a loud screech, and then a ghostly hand comes and slaps you across the face to let you know that there's some kind of psychic thing going on. But the item has to be wound on an hourly basis in order for it to function. And so that you guys can know what I was working with as I came up with that, these are the images that were rolled.
Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah, that would be weird.
How much is it?
$50 gold.
How much? Sorry.
50.
50.
Yeah.
Can I talk you down to 40?
45.
42.
44.
42 and 2 silver.
43 and 1 silver.
42 and 4 silver.
42 and 8 silver.
What the fuck is going on right now?
They're buying stuff.
42 and 5 silver.
All right, you got a deal.
All right, cool. Hey, Petrie, this is for you.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna use the portal, by the way.
It'll let you know if somebody's trying to read your mind. Okay.
It's too hard. I have too many thoughts in this mind, but I understand.
Don't forget after midnight, and don't forget to wind it up every hour.
Every hour, you got to wind it up. And it'll let you know. I promise, it'll let you know.
Okay.
Wait, so you guys are just giving the item to Petrie so he can bamf out?
What?
Are you guys are just giving the item to Petrie so that he can bamf out back to the desert?
Oh, I don't know. I was just giving that to him.
Who has it? I thought it was Martha that has this thing.
It is Martha that has it. Martha is hesitant to give it to Petrie because this provides a one-stop shop access to the Handsome Mansion, and if it falls into the wrong hands, then we're gonna have unwanted beings just vamping into the Handsome Mansion.
Just imagine all the cats.
The cats. Charles will be displeased.
We already have Baba in here. Like, come on. This is not much of an issue.
Hey, it is not Baba's fault that you built this place using stones from the grave.
I'm gonna have a kobold pet come in here, and he's gonna live here.
Bring that kobold pet, and I will slay it, and I will drench you in its blood. and force you to eat its scales.
And then I'll get Colma to bring it back, and it'll never die.
I mean, how would you feel? This is not just my home, nor is it the crew's home, but it is also Charles' home. We cannot allow Charles's home to be potentially overrun by somebody who has the key to the front door and can come back at any time they please from across the continent.
Especially not dirty kobolds.
That makes sense. But my thoughts are, if he wanted to come here, he wouldn't need that stone to do it.
Well, absolutely
he can do it
not.
through our minds.
He wouldn't need to have the stone to physically come here, but he would be able to make it here through. It would be an inconvenience rather than a convenient thing.
No, it makes sense. I feel if I'll head out there and I'll find my own way back. It should be fine.
You
If
mean
not, well, I
foot?
have eternal. I either have eternal torture or I have a long walk home. So you know.
Or you could just come with us. See, we're purposefully not using the thing right now so that we don't know exactly how it works, but we're just kind of assuming here that if we, use it from inside of the mist, it'll just pop us right back out right into the desert near wherever this, whatever the guy's name is.
I would like to also point out, just because it is on the map that you guys have, like as people, it is not on the map that you have as characters. So you don't know where this place is, especially since Zorchiklik teleported you, basically.
That is fair.
So if Petrie bamfs out, you'll have to go back to Zorchiklik if you want to get to Mordain. I don't know if anybody wants that.
No, I don't think that is safe. I think he needs to at least accompany us, and if you want to split whenever the time comes, then you can split. You're walking.
Right. If you have to get all the way out there anyway, you're going to basically be right alongside us most of the way. You might as well just come with us before. I mean, you can decide when we're about to go into the mist if you don't want to go and you prefer to go down to Trome.
I just know that Mordain, as he knows a lot about angel-faced creatures, he most likely would know something about the mist. If he does know something of the mist, he would know how to protect ourselves from inside of the mist.
Right, but even if you leave, if we all leave at the same time, you might think you're on a different quest, but for the next 2,000 miles, you're going to be right by our side anyway. So you might as well just make the decision later on. And if you want to go see Cocaine the Crypt Keeper, that's fine.
Baba thinks that Petrie is scared of mist. He is avoiding it.
I know
Petrie is a coward.
And Petrie.
Kobolds killed you. Shut up.
Those kobolds nearly killed you too.
Be quiet, Baba. I don't like to talk about it. You're bringing
Baba remembers your wounds and injuries after killing those kobold scum.
Don't you guys run a guild? Can't you just direct other members of the guild to go meet with Mordain?
No. No.
Oh yeah. I knew that would come in handy sometime.
I was wondering when you guys are gonna get there.
The best job is the one that you do yourself.
Right, but since we can't do both, might as well send somebody out to get a head start.
I find it unlikely that anybody we contract through our guild would be up to the task.
I hear Seamus is still around.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
It might make you a good one-shot one day.
He was very useful last time.
We could send Seamus to find Mordain the Fleshweaver. That might be a good use of his talents.
Seamus and that priest, you could get like a whole B team to go out.
Yeah. I think I could convince Father Stenson. No, but if I go to Mordain now, I will be at him quicker than you will be at the border of the mist. And in that case, I'll be able to catch up to you.
Yep.
How are you going
But you would also be alone.
Rome is like 4,000 miles away. We're going 1,500 miles away. And I'm underestimating the drone.
I have a feeling that Mordain would be able to teleport me. And if not, well...
To himself? Why has he been wasting our time and not using this ability up until now? Would have been really helpful back when we were at the Tower of the 12 if he just teleported us right to him.
Oh, Petrie, consider that the Moorlands are a place of chaos and otherworldliness. It is very possible that the angel-faced creature would be attracted to such a place. It's possible that we have the chance to see it and encounter it there and see it in its own environment.
But we have already seen an angel-faced creature.
We saw the angel-faced creature in our realm. But the Moorlands, from what I understand and what I've heard, is another realm altogether, even though it is on this world. So it is possible that we can see it in its natural habitat, and it may be guided there and be drawn to the Moorlands just as Elmorn is drawn.
And Petrie, cards on the table. I wasn't really supposed to reveal this, and there's also a little bit of personal embarrassment involved in it, but I myself am a little bit scared of going into the Moorlands because gnomes know very well that the Moorlands is infested with lichens, and having you there, an expert in it, would really greatly increase our odds of survival because I don't know how to fight lichens.
Yeah, it's true. Like, hold on, let me see. Hold on. And I take the doll head and I just kind of hold it up like I'm seeing through it. Oh, wow, I just saw one. Ooh.
Whoa.
We're gonna need your help. You're the only one that can kill him.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm gonna go see Mordain. No, I'm coming.
It's probably for the best. We'll go see whatever that guy's name is. But we got to kill some lichens first. Yeah.
Kill the lichens.
That's right. That's right. There you go, buddy. There you go.
Yeah. That's the one.
Well done, Ivar.
I was just about to go there.
Alrighty. So if there's anything that you guys want to be doing in preparation, send me an email. If there's things that you are going to use the guild for, let me know and send that email to the entire group so that it can be kind of an email discussion in terms of how you guys want to direct those resources. and then I will plan for the long journey around to the morning.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I need to go
Sounds-
out and find like a bunch of just like little tiny shrubs or something, like just bits of greenery, and some way to kind of keep it alive for a little while. Just so when I'm in the moorlands, I can like scatter them around to be like, look, lichens everywhere. Oh, did you mean a different kind of lichens?
All right. So good session, guys. Lots of laughs.
Did you plan on this, Mike?
I did not. I did not know what you guys were gonna do. And it's just nice how it's kind of all congealing. I'm just putting the seeds out there and seeing how you guys grab them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right.
All right. If there's any comments or criticisms, please feel free to send them my way. Anything that you guys could feel could have been done better, let me know. Glad to see Peter is joining us.
Somewhat participating.
And another shout out to this other guy who's in Matthias Corvinu.
That's me.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, shit.
Should've-
We have some random.
We have a fan.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe we had a fan watching. I'm like, man, this is something.
He would have been a watcher of the other game too, because he mentioned the WTF.
Yeah.
Send a links to Mike's Patreon.
All right, guys. So is everybody good for next Thursday?
Should be.
I
I might be a little late like I am today, but otherwise good.
I may not be. I was supposed to work tonight and it got pushed to next Thursday. So
All right.
I may be exposed briefly. Similar deal.
Okay. Well, just let us know, and then we'll just work through it.
Sounds good. All right, see you guys.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Right.
Like,